foreign ministers of Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt and Saudi Arabia have been meeting in Cairo to discuss a number of regional issues. Top of the agenda was the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding between the US and Iran. The ministers viewed it as a constructive step towards de-escalation. They stressed on the need for a swift conclusion to the next phase of negotiations, and they also discussed the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Well, to talk to us about this, joining us now on Al Jazeera is Hussein Haridy, who's a former senior Egyptian diplomat, having previously served as the ambassador to Pakistan and Spain. Thank you so much, Ambassador, for being with us. Thank you for your patience. So Egypt hosting these talks at a moment of high volatility in the region, as these crucial talks also underway in Switzerland. What concrete outcomes have realistically emerged from Cairo beyond the statement of support for the Memorandum of Understanding?
Well, I guess the Vice President, J.D. Vance, last Thursday asked the countries in the Middle East, Arabs and the Israelis, to lend support to the Memorandum of Understanding between the United States and Iran. And that's the purpose, one of the main objectives of the meeting at Alamein, Egypt today, that brought together the foreign ministers of Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. As you may recall, Madam, this is the second or third meeting between the four ministers that have dealt with the situation in Hormuz and the military operations between the United States and Iran. Now the Memorandum of Understanding being signed and the technical negotiations are due to start today or tomorrow in Switzerland. I guess the four countries are fully supportive of this process of de-escalation, and they would do their utmost that during the 60-day period, the two sides, the United States and Iran, could reach a peaceful settlement.
The negotiations in Switzerland have begun, Ambassador, but it seems that the priorities for each side are not the same. For Iran, the priority is to reinforce the interim deal and ensure that the ceasefire in Lebanon specifically is respected. The Americans seem to want to move on to the next phase. What for the region should be the priority right now?
Well, in fact, Madam, as far as the negotiations are concerned, I guess the question is the sequencing of the tasks or the commitments of the implementation of the commitments of each side to the Memorandum of Understanding. So, of course, the negotiations in Switzerland would really, this is my personal take on these negotiations, would probably be on sequencing. When the side will do step number one and step number two, and I guess the Americans do stress on the sequencing. But hopefully, the two sides are really eager to overcome all the differences between them.
The ministers' meeting in Egypt, Ambassador, explicitly tied the region's security to the success of this MoU. What specific guarantees do you think regional states should be demanding for the success of this deal?
Well, I doubt very much if the four countries would ask either the American administration or Iran to provide guarantees. But I guess the only guarantee is the realization that if these negotiations fail, and if the 60-day period would come to an end without an agreement, military operations would resume. And we don't think, I guess the four countries would really press this message home to the American administration and to the Iranians. And according to the statement released after their meeting, they fully realize the consequences and the price that the countries of the region and the world as a whole would pay if military operations would resume after the 60-day period. On the other hand, they, while of course dealing with the situation in Hormuz and negotiation between the Americans and the Israelis, they stressed also the need to alleviate the suffering, the human suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza and in the West Bank. And they stressed the importance of reaching a peaceful diplomatic solution to the Palestinian problem. So I guess when they speak about the security and stability of the Middle East in the future, the relations between the United States and Iran on the one hand, and the situation in Palestine on the other hand, are intertwined.
Ambassador, thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you for your time. Hussein Haridy, former Egyptian ambassador, joining us here from Cairo.